every one of us, in some form or another, has experienced some type of disruption in our lives. Whether it's something as small and insignificant as missing a train or bus and being late for a meeting, to something much deeper and more impactful. Maybe a new medical diagnosis or even the loss of a loved one. For the next few moments, I would like to talk about a very specific type of disruption. It's a type of disruption built on the precedents of introducing new technology into the life of the everyday individual. So, who am I? Well, I'll start by telling you who I am not. I am not a developer, I'm not an engineer, and I sure as crap am not an AI expert. I'm from the town of Jonesboro, Tennessee, where I started my freelancing videography career when I was just 15 years old. And I realized very quickly that if I wanted to play at a world-class level, but still stay in our region, then I would have to actually create my own opportunities to do so. Over the past 8 years, I've been building teams and developing leaders to create innovative solutions for the visual effects industry. In other words, we sell explosions. But not just any explosions. We sell the exact same explosions that you've seen in all of your favorite TV shows, movies, and video games. Over this past 8 years, I've had the opportunity to work with a number of different new and emerging technologies, and there's always been one that's been a clear standout from the rest. It's been inside of a category all on its own. That technology is artificial intelligence, or AI. So I could be the guy that stands up here and says, OCAT, quantum computing, metaverse, cryptocurrency, mixed reality, and of course, fuzzy logic. But these are just words. Some of these are actually fake words that I just made up to fill the screen. And OCAT is just taco, spelled backwards. So we all know these people, right? The people that hear something in the news and they say, oh yeah, that's AI, without really understanding what it means. So let's, for the purpose of this conversation, define AI briefly. Artificial intelligence refers to the development of computer systems and software that can perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. In more simple terms, AI is a way for machines to mimic or simulate human thinking and reasoning. So the cool part about all of this is that AI isn't new. In fact, you've been using it yourself already for over a decade, whether you realize it or not. Some forms of AI would be having a show that you really like recommended to you on your favorite streaming platform. It could also be talking to your voice assistant to set a reminder on your phone or even turn on the lights in your house. The only difference now is that AI is now accessible to everyone. Not only can you use it in your everyday life, but you can actually build entirely new things with it on your own. But like this AI-generated photo that I created using text, some of us are feeling maybe a little awkward about the whole thing. I'm just gonna let that sit in for a second. So some of us are left feeling a little awkward about this whole thing, but why? Why do we not welcome this new technology in the same way that we would a new smartphone? I think it's largely because ethics. All of this technology is developing at such a rapid rate that we don't even know the questions we should be asking in the first place. Should AI be regulated? How are the tools being trained and created? And arguably, one of the most important parts of the conversation is what will happen to the existing workforce? Well, the truth is that it will need to adapt. But we know that skills have always been changing. This isn't really new information. The CEO of LinkedIn said, one of the things we've been looking at recently in the LinkedIn data is the fact that if you take the exact same role from 2015 to 2022, roughly 25% of the skills that are required for that role have changed. So here's the concept of assumed skills. They're things that we've used to pad our resume for ages. But typing is a great example of an assumed skill. It, depending on the role, may have been quite a while since you actually listed typing and then listed out your words per minute that you could type on your resume. This is an example of an assumed skill. In May of 2023, Italy set aside $33 million to enhance the development of digital skills for workers at risk of termination due to automation and AI. I think this is largely because they're seeing the trend that is the coming disruption and trying to actually do something about it. This organization singled out transport and logistics, administrative support, production, services, and sales, but we know that that's just scratching the surface in terms of what industries are actually impacted by this technology. So we know that skills must adapt to meet the current needs. This term is called reskilling, and it's also not new. If you've ever found yourself inside of an organization that maybe takes on a new system, that is a reskilling process where you're learning the new tools, you're learning how to interface with it and how it impacts your business, but whatever you used to know is no longer relevant. There are three specific truths that I want to highlight about reskilling. It's painful, it's awkward, and it's worth it. But how do we actually do it? So the first point, speaking mainly to leaders of organizations, is we can do this by providing psychologically safe environments for our team and our people. If people do not first feel safe, they will not adapt, they will not grow, and ultimately, they will die. Just kidding. Okay, little dramatic, tough crowd. So people won't die from this, but they certainly won't succeed. Because it's not until someone feels truly safe in their environment and free to ask questions about these types of disruptions. What does this mean for my role? How can I grow within our organization? It's not until people start asking these types of questions that they can do more than play defense for themselves inside of your organization, but they can actually play offense. And this one is for everyone, but it's encouraging a love of learning. It's so much so that we have to actually instill a true deep love of learning inside of ourselves and those around us, not just so that we can meet our full potential, but also because it allows us to be more adaptable to change and new environments that we find ourselves in. So I want to take a quick example. Say you have a process inside of your organization. You are collecting, we'll say, survey data. You're collecting, you're calculating it, or maybe categorizing it inside of certain sections, and then you're building a report. Collect, calculate, report, 1 hour. Collect, calculate, report, 1 hour. So imagine a world where this exact same process can happen in the exact same steps required with often improved performance, which is sometimes a shot to the pride, under human supervision. So this person does not have to actually interact with this process, collect, calculate, report, for that full hour of their time. This is important because it frees that human up to do three things that AI isn't good at yet: strategize, create, and innovate. These are three things that cannot currently be replaced to the core. And this mindset really allows you to scale to where you have many different operations happening in tandem. Your output is improved, but ultimately, you're still left architecting. And the biggest point of all of this is truly because I believe humans were intrinsically designed to not be cogs inside of machines, but rather the architects and the innovators and the true creators of the machines themselves. But we've grown so complacent with being okay as being a cog inside of a process. The really cool part about all of this, regardless of new technology, is that all of these opportunities are available from anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in rural East Tennessee or across the world, as long as you have an internet connection, you have the accessibility of these new opportunities. And it also turns out that Tennessee is a pretty good place to blow stuff up for work. So AI is not a trend, it's not a fad, it's a new frontier. And adaptability isn't just our shield to play defense. It's also our sword that allows us not just to survive, which is necessary, but to thrive in the chaos that is this new landscape. Thank you.